The Trump administration has fired 17 immigration judges in 10 states without cause. That's according to their union. There's already a critical shortage. The union says only 600 judges are left to deal with a backlog of nearly 4 million cases. Meanwhile, sources say the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey has been fired from the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York. Maurene Comey worked on the cases against Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Sean Diddy Combs. Sources say President Trump had privately vented about having a Comey working in his administration.
Shut up.
All right, welcome, kings and queens. Listen, very interesting. Sources say that Trump quietly vented about having a Comey working on his administration. Now, when was the last time you've ever heard of Trump doing anything quietly? And let me say this is bigger than Diddy. For those of you that think this is directly related to Diddy, not so much. I think Diddy is being used in some ways, look, as a scapegoat and a technicality while we have him here for taking women out on a date. Hell, let's just get rid of Maurene Comey while we're at it. Let's just say we got rid of her because this is the first time in how many years that the Southern District of New York has lost a RICO or racketeering case. Yeah, let me use that excuse to get her up out of here. And by the way, keep in mind, I don't like her daddy. I got rid of him. I don't want her working for me. She's out of here. Well, what do we have here? We're going to talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
Y'all, this is a hot, big floor of a mess, if you ask me, because there are so many different components and dynamics to this entire saga. On one hand, you got the people chanting, good job, she's out of here because she messed up the case with Diddy. She tried to prosecute him. Trump saw through that. She's out of here. On the other hand, you have Trump that clearly is getting his lick back and retaliating for whatever happened between him and James Comey. And guess what? While I'm at it, I'll spin the block on your daughter. Okay. Maurene Comey, y'all, who prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein and is former FBI Director James Comey's daughter. She was fired yesterday evening, from her job in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office. And according to two people familiar with the matter who were granted anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly. So we don't know who leaked this information, but guess what? We thank you in advance. And according to those individuals, the reason that Maurene was fired was not exactly clear. It's not immediately clear. Well, let me say this. I understand your need to go on record and kind of shuck and jive around the elephant in the room, but it's clear to me. It's clear to me that old Donald is utilizing his power and his leadership to settle personal vendettas. That's way bigger than Diddy. Seems like Donald wants the Epstein files and the talk and all of that just to go away. And I feel like he's going about it the wrong way. So I encourage a lot of you to pause before you start to clap and give a round of applause, because listen, when people show you who they are, you better believe them. And if he would utilize the office and his presidential powers and his leadership to settle personal vendettas, hell, ain't no telling what he would do to you and me. Now, I'm quick to celebrate. I mean, I'm not quick to celebrate, but I'll pause because, you know, I don't feel no kind of way about it, but I told you. We have so many different variations of conversations over here in the palace. And one of the things we talk about was the strategic removal of DEI initiatives that many white women have benefited from. Maurene, come here. Let me tell you something. You are the prime example. Now, I'm not celebrating your removal from office or your removal from your position, because if the truth be told, when I sat in that courtroom, I marveled at your brilliance. You're extremely good at what you do. And to be honest with you, y'all, it sucks. It sucks to have a new head honcho come in, decide he don't like you for whatever reason, because The reason for her firing is not immediately clear. And then he gets to remove you from office. That sucks. But what did you think would happen on January 5th or January 6th, 2025? Who did you think benefited vastly from DEI initiatives? Not me, said the Black woman on the mic. Not me. And I'm not saying that she's removed, because some of you, I don't know, you have selective hearing or selective understanding. I'm not saying she's removed because she's white, but I'm just saying, white women, you better wake up and realize what time it is. Now, Maurene did not immediately respond to phone calls and an email seeking comment. Spokesperson for the Justice Department and the U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment. Comey, who had worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office for nearly a decade, y'all, 10 years, she prosecuted both Epstein and his associate, Ghislaine. Yeah, that's how I say her name, Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay. In recent weeks, President Trump, y'all, he's been very vocal, and Attorney General Pam Bondi have faced a firestorm of criticism over their decision not to release additional files related to Epstein. For those of you who are not familiar with Epstein, I think at this point we all are. Epstein was accused of running a child sex trafficking ring. And according to Donald's best friend, Elon Musk, Donald, they say your name is on that list. Elon said your name is on that list, and y'all fell out, and he told everything, honey. Like he was in the first 48 interrogation room. He sang like a hummingbird, okay? Prosecutors in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office, including Comey, charged Epstein in 2019 with sex trafficking of minors. He allegedly, y'all, died by suicide in jail while awaiting trial on those charges. Child, please. Child, please. Here's my thing. Some of you are happy. Some of you are happy. It just bothers me that we have somebody that would take office and annihilate people that he doesn't like and do whatever he feels like doing unapologetically. I'm glad he and Elon are fighting, and I hope Elon doesn't back down. I hope they go head to head. I hope Elon exposes everything that we need to know, or pay to expose everything we need to know. I think Maurene's going to be good. I think she'll be good. It just scares me, the direction that this country is going, that this administration is going. But yeah, they fired her. The Justice Department fired her last night. Dang, y'all. Now, many people, you see different headlines where they say, whatever works, right? Where they're saying, Maurene Comey, she most recently led the prosecution of Sean Diddy Combs. And maybe he fired her because of that, because she didn't secure the bag. She didn't get the win. I don't think it has anything to do with Combs. I think he's a scapegoat. I think he's a technicality. Comey was highly regarded as an assistant U.S. attorney who successfully, y'all, she was taking them down one by one. She took down Ghislaine, she took down Jeffrey and multiple gang members before the split verdict earlier this month in the trial of Combs. And Sean Puffy Combs, I was in there. Sean Combs was convicted. He was cleared of the RICO, found not guilty. But he was convicted of prostitution-related charge, but acquitted of the more serious charges. Comey was also involved in the case against Epstein. And if you think about what's going on, the climate, I mean, if you read the room, Donald is berating his supporters. He's mad that they won't back down. He's blaming the Democrats. Y'all, this is a hot ass mess. But this is a hot mess. And for some reason, I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that this is just the beginning of a bunch of mess. I just think Donald Trump I think he shook some things up, y'all, because this is the first time in history that the Southern District of New York has ever lost. Guess what? You're not going to win all the time. But is it her fault? I don't know. Because I coined the prosecution team, 6 white women as Little House on the Prairie. Is he shaking things up to become more diversified? I doubt it. Was this a display, these 6 white women, a display of feminism? Or was it a display of white, what do y'all call it? Dang, the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? White supremacy, privilege. I don't know. Is this personal? Is this just business? Because listen, if you do the math, it's 2 weeks to the day that they lost and Combs was found not guilty of the RICO and racketeering charge. 2 weeks to the day. I don't know. I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that this is way bigger than we think. And I think President Trump is looking out for his own personal agenda. I think this is very personal. I don't know. Let's talk about it.
I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden,
Okay, cool. Cool as a cucumber. This guy's not worried about a thing. So let me get this straight. According to Trump, all the top Democrats got together and said, let's create some fake files that destroy Trump's political career. They don't ever use them. They let Trump get elected, don't use them. Let Trump get elected again, still don't use them. And then once he's the president, hope he releases the files without ever looking at them.